Man, that is a huge Volkswagen Beetle. Man, that thing's big. This is actually the very first toy that I ever altered in my life. And today on Hunk and Junk, on this episode and the next episode on Friday, I'm going to show you how to make this thing really super cool. The bottom, as you can see, is all boogered up. It's got a battery box and a big hole here where the bump and go used to be. I'm going to make the bottom look like this. Here's another one. This one's a little bit newer, but you can see there how nice and pretty and smooth all that is. Stay tuned. I'll show you how to make it look like this. Well guys, welcome back here, and I guess the first thing we need to do this beauty is to go ahead and just take it apart. These things, they normally have these little tabs right here. As with most pressed steel toys, your tin toys are going to be about the same. Problem with this particular toy is it's got tabs up in behind here. Thankfully I can get up in there, but they're kind of a bear sometimes. So let's see if we can't get this thing apart without tearing it up any worse than what it already is. She's old, boy. Sure, that tab just broke off. Ugh. Have to fix that. These backwards are going to be a little bit more troublesome. Let's see if we can't get this thing apart. Alright. As you can see, it's really rusty. Really been through the ringer. Fellas, if you buy you one of these Bandai Volkswagens, make sure they have the hubcaps, man. You cannot replace those. You can't buy them. Make sure it has the hubcaps. So, next thing we need to do is take the battery box out. Alright, so now we got our frame stripped down. Now I'm going to go give this a quick bath and get all this old rust and stuff off of there so that I can get me some good welds going on. We got to fix all this. Alright, so we got some of the rust knocked off. We just kind of washed it off a little bit, whatever. But you can see here it's kind of bent up right there. So we're just going to take our old pliers. I'm just going to kind of bend that back around. Kind of get it somewhat back to what it used to be. It'll prove a little difficult, I do believe. Yeah, maybe a little bit of hammering. We'll get that somewhat lined back up. She's bad, boy. Alright guys, the best way to do this kind of stuff here, because basically what I want to do is, I want to cut all this out right here in the middle. All that, all that, all that, and I'm going to come back to about right at the end of this. so back over here at the bench, I went and got me some little scrap metal pieces. I think what I want to do here is, I want to make me a little bend in this, about maybe 3/8, and let it sit down in that groove and then weld the frame to it, or spot weld the frame to it. So, let's go ahead and measure 3/8 on that. Alright, so back over at the bench, we got our pieces bent. Doing a little bit of test fitting. Realized I bent them just a little bit too big. So, I had to come in here and trim that off. That's about what I had in mind right there. Something along those lines. Then I'll come in here and trim that up once I see exactly where I need to trim it. So let me go ahead and trim up the rest of these. I'm going to use the same old handy dandy trick we use every time, fellas. Just put your marker on there, put your finger on the piece of metal, take your marker, and just run it right down through there. That easy. This one I'm going to cut on the outside of the line because I hate to give up all that metal. That's extra strength. That'll work. Do it a couple more times. It's going to be laid in there. Something like that. I'd say my axle is going to be somewhere around in there. I normally put the axle right on top of the old perch, and it normally sits just right. So I'm thinking my axle's going to be right around in there. So, do it like that. I'm bad at drawing, as you can see. Something like that. We'll do that on all four corners. Let me get them cut up and ready to go, and we'll go show you how to spot weld them in. Alright guys, so here we are at the spot welder. Got my little piece clamped in there. It says she'll burn. Yeah. Well, it's there. and do the rest of them. Then we'll go fix the bottom. Alright, so I got all my perches welded in and everything, and kind of got my frame a little bit stiffened up. And I got my hammering done, got this all in here kind of flattened out to where I can do my work to it and stuff and start welding in my piece of metal. While I'm doing this one, it's in such bad shape, I figured I would show you. In the meantime, I'm also doing this one at the same time. So I'll show you how this one comes out. It'll come out a whole lot better because I'm starting with so much better material. But this is the one I'm doing for the video. So what I've got here is, I got me a template. You can see here, I've done so many of them, you gotta have a template. And it almost fits in there pretty good. What I want to do on this one is I want to bring it back to here. Basically what you do, just put it on there. I've got this pretty much cut down to size. Center it up real good and just draw it out. Easy stuff here, fellas. Now I've got my new floor pan. Let's get that cut out. Two different colored handles here, guys. There you have it. Yeah. Let me go hammer this down. All this other stuff here that's holding it up. Let me go hammer this all flat. Hammer my piece. And cut this one out. It needs to be a little bit longer. I'm going to bring it on back here. Alright, so we got our pieces cut out. And as you can see, it don't look all that great from in here, but when I'm done, it'll look a whole lot better. So let's go ahead and clamp this one into place. Let's go spot weld that in. Alright, so here we are at the spot welder. We got our bottom in place here. Let's go ahead and start tacking that in. Let's see if we can make it stick. And we're going to start right there. There. Now we can take these off. Now kind of what you want to do, now that it's stuck in there good, I'm going to let this cool off. But what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to come right in here, right around the edge of this seam, and just put a bunch of spot welds, hammer it in, spot weld, hammer, grind, spot weld. You'll see, it's a pretty time consuming process. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward here and let you listen to some good music while I get this thing finished out. See, what I'm doing is I'm spreading my heat, going from place to place. That way I don't get it all hot and make it all warped. But I can feel the heat coming off my spot welder. See? know these are hot. Peel the skin off if you touch them. But if you spot weld here, spot weld down here, and just keep going around it as you go. Now there'll come a point here in a few minutes where I'll stop, go hit it with the grinder, go hit it with the hammer, and kind of start getting all this blended into one piece. When I'm done, you won't see, you may see it, but it'll be really hard to see the seam, and it'll be easy to fill in with some fluoropolymer or something like that. So, let's keep moving. So what I'm doing here, if you can see, if you see right here, I'm looking for I got it real shiny, that's where my grinder's hitting. Real shiny right there, you can't see a seam, and then you got this kind of a dark, this spot right here where you can tell the grinder isn't touching. You got one there, you can see all these little spots. And they're still up here. I'm just letting this metal up here relax a little bit and cool down and calm down, and after I've done so much work to it, and just move on down here. But whenever I come back over here after I've hammered and done everything, really what I'm looking for is any gaps, because the object is to make it like that, fill in the gap, not have it like this. So that's what I'm doing when I'm going back and forth, is I'm filling in the gaps and I'm hammering everything in around where I filled and trying to get it all smoothed out. Guys, here's your little midstream progress report. It's kind of a little update. This is what we're shooting for. Almost seamless. I mean, you can still see some, but it'll be really, really easy to fix to where you'll never see anything. This is where we're at. We've got this side getting dialed in pretty good. I don't really have this side. I've not worked on this side yet at all. So you can see there, that's what we started with. And this is our progress so far. And you can see the back. This here is going to look really bad no matter what I do. And here's the other one that I'm working on at the same time. And I've just basically got it tacked in. I've not hammered it. I've not done anything at all with it. That's just how it looks after, as soon as I get it done tacking it. Get done tacking it in. So I'm gonna get back on this. Just hang back and enjoy. Well guys, that's going to just about do it for us here today. I'm pretty much running out of time. I try to squeeze as much content in each video that I possibly can. Let me know down in the bleep bloop section there what you think and what you like and what you don't like, if I'm long-winded or short-winded or not showing enough or showing too much. But we got our little Volkswagen over here looking pretty good. If you can remember, we started out, it was bad, bad, bad. I mean, it was about falling apart. Then we got to this stage. I've not had a chance to fool with this one much. I did get the bottom tacked in. So we got it to this stage. And then, after hours and hundreds of spot welds, we finally got it to a manageable place. This one didn't turn out nearly as good as the other two, mainly because I started with such really bad material in the first place, and there's just only so much you can do with this kind of stuff. But this is no filler, no spray paint, no nothing. This is bare metal. I'm going to come in with some filler primer and try to kind of fill a lot of this in and kind of hide a lot of this and just paint it over black. And make sure you come back on Friday and we'll make a full interior for this. You can see it's got kind of a cheesy little interior in there. So we'll come in here Friday and we'll put the axles in and we'll make a full-blown interior for this thing. Thank you for watching. Make sure you check out the Facebook group, Hunk and Junk, and y'all have a great day.